it comes to seeking solutions to love-related issues, it's always advisable to speak to counselors who are trained and with years' experience. It is often said that the problem shared is half solved. At a point in our relationship, we come to a point where we just get tired of being strong when the problems fail to go away. On this episode of Moans and Cuddles, we sit with one of Ghana's renowned counselors who is going to give advice on the messages our theme received from people who are going through challenges in their marriage and relationships. I am Paulina Deda Opoku, and it's always a pleasure to have you here on Moans and Cuddles. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Moans and Cuddles here on Ghana Web TV. So I must inform you, this week's episode is special. Yes, we're having an open day on Moans and Cuddles. For those of you who have been following us on social media, I'm talking about Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at the Ghana Web, you might have seen a message that we put out there for you, our viewers, to send in all the issues and challenges you might be facing in your marriage or relationship. And I must confess, we had quite a number of entries, and this only confirms that is indeed problem not the finish. Things are going on in relationship and marriages. But we've been joined by a counselor, one of Ghana's renowned counselors, who is going to, give expert advice on all the challenges and the messages that some of you sent to us. So without wasting my time, I want to introduce Counselor Frank Edem Adofoli. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Paula. You're looking good.
Thank you, Counselor. Thank you very much. But one thing interests me. I want to find out, do people really patronize counseling service in Ghana?
Yes, people do. People who know the essence of it do. But unfortunately, they come at the last end of the relationship when they are breaking up after hating each other to that point that they think somebody should come in and then put a relationship together. Okay. Unfortunately, counselors don't put relationship together. We help you in that process. So they do. Some also come initial stage when they are about to get married, and we help them through that. But
then I've heard some people, a friend is getting married, right? And she doesn't really see the essence of the whole 3 months. She's like, oh, Paula, this whole counseling stuff like that. How important is it when we are preparing to get married?
It's just asking that if you want to go and work as a journalist, you need to go to school on that.
Yeah.
Yes. To have the tools and the knowledge. So when you get to the job, when the troubles come, when issues come, you'll be able to navigate through.
Okay.
So those who have the essence of it know what it takes to go through this. They appreciate it and enjoy it. What we do in the churches and so forth, which is 3 months, some are 6 months, others come in when they are drunk with feelings or they say they are in love. So whatever is said here, come out of here. We just want the process to go through so that we can get married and start our marital life.
Okay.
And so they don't even enjoy the process. But what we do outside the church is just a 10 sessions. Okay. Have a selected topics. It's just a usual conversation that gives the tools and the knowledge to succeed in your own marriage.
All right.
And then when counselor comes into your marriage, it means that there's authority there. So in case there is trouble and any issue, you usually fall on that.
Instead of the friends who give. Okay. But then is there instances where people who are not necessarily going to get married, maybe they are just in a relationship, come for counseling service?
They do.
They do.
In a relationship, they come. Even individuals come for counseling.
Okay.
I wanted to go into a relationship. I don't know what to do. Or I've come out of the relationship. It's been a painful one. How do I go through my life in the next phase of life? Or do divorce, those who have gone through divorce or separation. We have people going to counseling on that. And even single parenting. How do we go through that process of taking care of the child without having a relationship? How do we do that?
I have a whole lot of questions concerning counseling, but then I want us to tackle our first question because we had a lot of entries. It kind of looks like people are going through a lot in their relationship, which they need expert advice. So I want to start with this one. This message is from a lady. So I read. It says, I met a doctor on LinkedIn sometime last year and we only spoke briefly. After He began checking out my profile on several occasions and kept on checking out his too, until I couldn't take the back and forth no more. I hit him up. We spoke some more and exchanged contacts. Our friendship grew. I used to get a lot of gifts from him even when he hadn't met in person. That too, I couldn't bear the suspense and so demanded to meet him face to face. That took a lot of convincing, his reason being he likes to keep to himself a lot of times. Fast forward, we became very close. He paid me regular visits at work and sometimes at home. I started developing feelings for him. We used to talk every day, all day, despite our busy work schedules. I am a journalist and he is a doctor. Somewhere along the line, he made it clear to me not to confuse myself because he was being extra nice. I might think he has fallen in love with me. I felt hurt, hence I told him not to fall for me in the course of our friendship as a self-defense mechanism. Eventually, we kissed one day, and that was the beginning of our quarrels. I was made to feel there was no way he could fall for me because he wasn't ready to date. I had already made up my mind not to enter a relationship this year because I had to work on myself. But after all these signals and deeds, I began having a renewal of mindset, hoping he would one day ask me out. We kissed some more times to the extent that just the mere sight of me could make Junior down there wake up. Sometimes just talking to me on phone alone was enough to wake him up, according to him. I asked if he liked me or not one day after gathering a lot of courage, only to be told he loves me but only wants us to be friends. When he says he loves me, it's not romantically, because he never for once saw us going beyond friendship. That's why he didn't want to initiate any form of intimacy, that's kissing. I felt humiliated, not because of rejection. After all, I do reject some people too, but because it dawned on me that I had been led on all this while, only for him to break the bombshell in that manner over text. Initially, he made me promise not to leave his side or give up on him. But after that message, I asked him to keep his distance because I needed time away from him to heal and clear my head from the hurt and humiliation. He made me feel desperately in need of a relationship via that text, and it's something I can't get over, although he feels I'm hurt and disappointed him by not keeping my promise. There are men who have come my way, but I can't seem to get him off my head. I don't know if it is because of pain or indeed I fell in love with him. He never checked on me nor bothered to find out if I was coping well in the midst of this. I'm holding myself back from getting in touch, but he formed his bond with my nephew and mom, who go to him for consultation sometimes. I need help on how to fully forgive him and get over him totally while focusing on the important aspects of my life. Thank you. Counselor, this is a long one.
I'm sorry for how she's feeling now. This business about love, you need to do that with your head, not just with your heart.
Okay.
So before the relationship, what are you looking for? You don't just get to the market, then ask, oh, what are you looking for? I don't know. Anything you give to me, I'll see whether it is okay with me.
All right.
That's not what you do. So before someone check on you and the person say hi, you should know what you are looking for. Okay. And straightforward, we talk about it. What do you want? Is it a relationship? Is it just friendship? Because the more we talk, the more we are building bonds, the more we come closer, the more we share our feelings, the intimacy builds over the time. So we can even be in love with somebody and the person doesn't even love you. So it's apparently...
Counselor, isn't it leading on? Because you might say that, oh, you need to state it. Is it a relationship you are looking for or it's just friendship? But then if you know it's friendship, you don't lead that person or make them think that there might be light at the end of the tunnel.
It takes two to make a relationship.
Yeah.
So it's not you leading you. Who is leading who? We are all leading ourselves on. You have all the right to say, look, where we are heading towards, I don't like it. But the guy keep on giving some indication. I don't want a serious relationship.
Yeah.
I just want friendship, something to hang around. So maybe when he's bored, he has gone through a stress, he come back to you, you have all good conversation. If there's even opportunity, the guy would have sex with her. And after the sex, you still said you don't have a relationship. Even if she got pregnant, the guy would have gone ahead and said, oh, I don't want a child. Because he doesn't want a relationship. So this is a good sign for a good what do you call it? Outcome that a good red flag that going forward, know what you are looking for before you start a relationship. After what you could do is, I mess up. I have to stop this kind of conversation I'm having with a guy. Hence, from no other conversation with him anymore. You start with the mind that the relationship has no future, so I'm not going to continue with this conversation. It's not hating the guy or trying to be rude towards him. The messages we have exchanged all this while, you need to clear them.
Okay.
Delete all the photos, delete them. Because once you start reading them, the feelings come back, the emotions come back, you really leave them. The contact, you don't even need to block. But once you know who he is, when you call, don't prioritize the call. It's not important. You can do whatever you want to do and come back to the call. Oh, I'm busy. If you have any message, leave the message behind. I'll attend to the message.
Okay.
Once you start doing this for yourself, whatever feelings you have for me will start coming down. Have to do this so that you can keep yourself focused, not distracted. People do this because they are lonely. They don't even know what they want. So anybody who comes around, they form one with. So it's not worth going on. Forgive yourself and let go of the relationship.
Okay. But Counselor, she stated in the part where the guy is a doctor, and he said the nephew and the mom have created a bond. So they go to him for consultation and stuff like that. Should she break that bond?
The relationship the guy has with the nephew and the mom is different from what he had with you. To the nephew and the mom, that's our doctor. That is not our in-law.
Okay.
So they should not even get into that relationship. It should not even be interference. So allow the mom and the nephew to accept their health care. That's what you should do. You should not even get into the matter. You should not even be listening to whatever happened in their conversation in and out.
Okay. All right. But then if you find yourself in a situation like this where you've been hurt, what you were expecting didn't turn out in a relationship, should you give yourself some? Because she stated here that she's thinking of giving herself some time to heal and all that. Should she, give herself a chance of meeting someone, or she should give herself some time to heal?
You don't use another person to cure your trouble.
Okay.
So once you know this relationship is going nowhere, we need to suspend that feelings. We need to bring the feelings down. Okay. So one thing I do is I know it's not going nowhere, so I've stopped pursuing the relationship. And I also ask you to get rid of these messages and photos, so that you don't go back doing rebound, listening to the messages or getting in touch. Okay. So within some time, within the space of time, whilst she's focused with her own activities, she'll get her life back on.
Okay, so to the lady who sent this message, I hope you've heard what Councillor Adofoli has said. If you have any form of connection messages, don't pick his calls regularly. Give yourself time to heal. I want us to go to our second entry. So I'm going to read this one out. It's from a lady, and here we go. It says, "We've been together for almost a year. He doesn't like to give me head, but always give him one before sex. He says it's going to give him infection. It's making our sexual life slope for me. If he doesn't have the same sexual desires as you, how do you make it work?"
So we have a conversation, we sit down. What I want, what I like is not what my partner might like or want. We can negotiate on that. See, sex is an act that you make me happy, I make you happy.
Yeah.
What it takes to be happy is different from what it takes your partner to be happy.
Okay.
So if you're going to be a good business partners, know what I want, you also know what I want, then we can negotiate on that and settle on what to do. Don't have a silent rule in your mind that as I go into a relationship, the man should do A, B, C, D for me, the woman should do A, B, C, D for me. Okay. To turns me or makes me happy. And when that is not done, I'm frustrated, I'm not happy, I'm showing all sorts of emotions. No. Verbality, let's be clear about this as an adult before we start a relationship. So if you don't like it, how things are going, make it clear to the man what you want, how you want to enjoy sex. Then if you can, you work around it. If you cannot, you should be thinking about your way out.
Because she stated it in here that it's like they've had a conversation, because she wants him to go down. I mean, like oral, like, you know, use his mouth on the vagina, stuff like that. She thinks that is what gives her pleasure. But the man is saying that he doesn't want to do this because of infection. But is it medically proven that, you know, giving head to a woman can give you infection?
There have been a plus on that and there have been a minus on that.
Okay.
So the thing is, even being medically or non medically, if the man is not comfortable with it, this is somebody you're going to have trouble with. Because to you, that is what gets you to the peak.
Yeah.
So if you cannot get to the peak, no matter whatever this guy do to you, you're going to have a trouble. Either you are going to go behind him in the relationship, which is not going to be fair. So if we cannot agree and do this mutually, then it's best we let go.
Because she's saying that it's making their sex life slope. You know, slope means one party is not enjoying.
Yes, that's what it means. If they are married couple, they can go on therapy on this. Maybe the man had some perception about this oral sex altogether. Maybe from the culture, the religious background, we need to talk about all these things to get to where he is. Then they know the plus and the minus of doing it. And also know that I'm just making my spouse happy. It shouldn't get to the place that I feel guilty or shame or dirty doing it so. Or curse within my mind. That's what I feel. So if this is taken care of, doing it is easier. So the fact that it's easier with you does not mean it's going to be easier with your partner.
But what interests me, she stated that he doesn't want to give head, but she gives him a blowjob, as stated here in the message. Do you think this is fair?
That's why I say it's not fair. He's telling you what he wants.
He wants, but
and you are able to do that for him.
Yeah.
But he is not able to do what you want. So if you cannot do it, fine. I've heard of this a couple of times at the counseling room that the men want this, but they don't want to do that for what? The women. And they have reason for it.
But Counselor, what are some of the reasons? Hygienic purpose, have they stated that, oh, maybe you mentioned that some
have
people
a culture kind of perception on it that you cannot do that. Some religiously they have their own. Before we come to the infection and so forth comes in, not even infection. Others started their sexual life, they've not experienced something like this. And they don't think it's the best way to go about it. So anytime that you bring it up, no. If you want to do it for me, I'm good to go. But you, no. And it's been selfish way of trying to please one another. Else, don't do that for me. Me too, I won't do this for you. Let's find another way to make ourselves happy. If that will be fine, let's do it.
But then on the part of the religious reason why they don't, if you can't share any of the story, religious purpose, as you know, maybe I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, or I use the same mouth to pray. Was the reason?
What it says is the mouth is not meant for sexual activities. It's not meant for the sexual activities. And they even go ahead to say once we are doing that, the woman is going to have that kind of power over you. Some say yes, because others of the societal reason that they've heard of throat cancer as a result of that.
We need to get a doctor's advice if going down on your woman can give throat cancer.
Because the medically they mentioned to sex is a clean act, it's not a dirty act. Bathing, taking care of yourself, all these are important. And if you are in a relationship, it's good to even visit your doctor regularly, knowing that you are in the right place and you are doing the right thing. But people naturally don't want to even go to the hospital. Ladies especially, even going to the hospital to check, maybe when they are pregnant and they are required to go to antenatal and so forth. The men, some of them, it is here before sending them to the hospital to go and check on this. Because they have in mind, maybe I did some unprotected sex in the past. There could be a problem, I don't know. I'm very careful and so forth. So if we are going to have a good sex life, good relationship, enjoy it, we don't need to have any fear in our mind, any fear on our conscience that what I'm doing, maybe I might enter into the trouble. So when the lady is complaining, is let the man know what I'm not comfortable with.
All right.
The man should also talk about what he's not comfortable with. Then we can renegotiate.
Okay.
What works for me? Can you meet me the way I want to meet you? If we can, we go separate ways. As one will be unhappy, whilst another person seems to be happy.
Okay.
One will seem to be complaining, other seems that there's nothing wrong with you. You are just making noise.
Okay.
And that is unfair.
All right. So to our sender, I hope you are satisfied with the outcome of the advice that Councillor Adofoli has given. But I want to also chip this one in. This is to our ladies. Lots of men have raised concern that, oh, hygienically, some women, due to the scent that comes from there, they are not neat, so they don't even want to go down on them. It's fine. So this is what you have to do. It's good to, you know, boost your confidence as a woman during the act. If you want your man to eat you up and all that, it's advisable that you take a bath before you start the whole thing. Wash down. Wash, you know, your vagina thoroughly with water. You don't have to, you know, put soap and all that thing in. Wash it and then do take care of it regularly. And for the men too, before you really want a woman to give you a head, be sure to also take a bath, because we don't know what is all around there. But we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Moans and Cuddles continues.
From the dawn of time, people have engaged in several businesses. With the onset of technology and innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite, mobile money?
tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects and others right here on Ghana Web TV.
You're welcome back to Moans and Cuddles on Ghana Web TV. Today's episode is special, as I stated earlier. It's an open day for all the messages you sent us on our social media platform concerning the challenges you are facing in your relationship. We have Councillor Frank Edem Adofoli, who has been, giving you advice on what to do. And we'll move to the next message that we received, but I want to give special thanks to my makeup artist Kiki Sadiq on Instagram for glamming me up for the show. So, Councillor, the next one is a very long one, but for the purpose of this conversation, I want to summarize it and let you know. So, it's simple. It's coming in for a lady. She says that she was in a relationship with a guy, right? But then at some point, in a relationship for like 3 to 4 years, but at some points they broke away because the guy was not consistent due to cheating and all that. And along the line, during the quarantine, she went out with her sisters and friends, and she met this new guy whom they started talking. So after months of back and forth, she gave a number to the guy and they started having a conversation. So her original boyfriend on the side has not been in constant communication. So the new guy, they started talking. It wasn't more of a relationship thing, but she liked him and then she was aware how he felt about him. But along the line, she lost their mom. Yeah. And this was the time that I was expecting her original boyfriend to be around, but it wasn't the case. He wasn't there. So during her trying times, that was when the new guy came into the scene and assisted her, stuff like that. When she was in the hospital, he was there, gave her some money. She sent her 2,000 Ghana cedi for preparation towards her mother's funeral. And all this, he said, when she called her boyfriend to say, oh, what are you doing? Because during the quarantine, she wasn't working and all that. He wasn't forthcoming. He said he had sold his Benz to use for a project, so he wasn't having money. So she didn't receive anything from him. Fast forward, they buried her mom and things moved on. So she decided to give this new guy a chance. So they had sex, and along the line, they broke contact again. But so she stated in the message that she had an issue with the menstrual cycle. So when she visited the hospital, she was told that she's suffering from, let me check it again. She said she was suffering from PCOS. So the doctor explained that with that, it would be hard for her to give birth. So just at that time, then some tests were run. She realized that she was pregnant. So she had to go back to the boy to tell him that, okay, this is the latest news. But then unfortunately, he went, the day she decided to inform the man, he met the new guy in bed with another lady, which, you know, she said she was surprised, of course. But later she told the guy that she was pregnant. And all he could say was that he wasn't ready for it because his mom in the village has arranged for another woman for him, which she was already aware months before even getting to know she was pregnant. So all that she's saying is the new guy is saying it's okay. He's going to accept responsibility because it was part of his failure to stay in constant communication with her that led to her, you know, cheating and eventually getting pregnant.
That's the old guy.
Yeah, the old guy. So the old guy has come around and is like, oh, babies are a blessing. So he's only going to give up on her if she comes out to say, oh, I don't want the relationship with her. But then this is like a case. The guy who got you pregnant is in the scene. And then the new guy too is saying that he's ready to offer you assistance. So this is her message and she wants advice on what to do.
All right. It's a difficult one. From having a broken heart to loss of mother.
Yeah.
And now you're in a confused state. Having a child and you don't know who's the father or who to give the baby to. That's a very difficult one. I'm very sorry for that. At least it's a learning curve for her to learn from.
Okay.
Children are children and we should not deny them their parent. You are the mother and you know who the father is.
Yeah.
So the child deserves to know who the father is. The father also deserves to know who the child is. If the man decides not to take care of the child, the responsibility, there are institutions who hold him accountable. Social welfare is there.
Okay.
They can arrange for what we call co-parenting. So he can give what the child needs for the child to become a responsible adult. What I want to advise is to use the child as a yardstick to force a relationship. People do that. I don't want to have my child here and have a relationship here. Where I have a child, I have to have a relationship there. If that's what you want, why don't you have the relationship or the marriage before you have the child?
Yeah.
Every child needs a place where there's love, there's peace, there's harmony. So if the relationship is not working, you're not going to give the child those things, the love, the peace, and harmony. So if you go separate way, and your old boyfriend can be with you and get into marriage, and you can have a stable home and can give that child love and peace, why don't you go for your old boyfriend? And let the new one know that the child is yours, and whatever responsibility towards the child, you will be held responsible. Keep the baby, give birth, and then sort things out.
Right.
What happened before the guy left the old boyfriend, they should see them and talk about it. Iron that. If they need a help, get expert help. Else the guy will run away again. So when they do that, the relationship can get on track. And it should not allow the new guy who said no to come back and confuse him like what he did. Because he seems to play very well with lady. You know how to make ladies happy. You know how to meet their need. He seems to be a gentleman. Know what to do.
Financial support
yes,
and all
everything.
that.
So you should set boundaries. Once it's off with the old guy, set boundary. That is my baby's daddy.
Okay.
If he call me, it's because about the baby. And whatever conversation you have, let your boyfriend or your man know about it.
Okay.
Don't go meeting the guy, doing all sorts of things without letting your man know. Then you'll be sowing a seed of mistrust, dishonesty, and all sorts of things in a relationship.
All right.
So it's okay to have a child outside that relationship.
Okay.
That is fine. Once they have understanding, they can raise the child. That's good to do.
Okay. So this lady, I could imagine you being pregnant. Your mom is not around, and then you're in a confused state. And the man who is responsible denies the pregnancy upfront. For her, with what she went through, how does she forgive the man, because of course it will be up in your face. Oh, after going through all this pain, all the stress, 9 months of carrying this baby, and then you say, initially you told me to abort it, like you were not ready for it. So with women who go through that phase, how do they get out of it and accept and forget that, okay, fine, he said he didn't want it, but I took responsibility? How do you live with the person in harmony?
I just don't want people to just accept the fact that somebody impregnates you, or you have a child with someone, and the person just said, "Oh, I don't want a child." Then you are all alone, taking care of a child, doing all sorts of things. No, you should not take it like that. If you don't want a relationship, you are free to go. We are all adults. But the child, you can't say you don't want the child. You cannot say you don't want the child. If you think the child is not yours, when you get to social welfare, you have to prove for that. You have to prove DNA paternity test to show that the child is not yours. You feed the you pay for the cost of it. So people don't know these avenues exist. So just go to the social welfare. They are not bringing the relationship together. They want to know where the child fits in. They'll protect the child. Whatever the child needs, they'll give that to the child. So the guy will be communicating to the office, to you. So whatever he's supposed to give to you, you give to you. We should forgive people who actually we turn out to be a mistake in our life. Some of them, they teach us useful lesson. Through them, we even get a blessing like children. So if the relationship is not going where we want it, it's telling us the person is not the right person for us. So forgiving the person also means forgive yourself. Don't hold your past against yourself. Don't live in a guilt, in shame. Now, I supposed to know better. I should have been very careful. No, you can't know everything.
Okay.
Just learn from that curve and become stronger and better. Don't also have this fear that because I have a child outside the relationship, nobody will find me attractive. And that has become a song for some people that who name themselves baby mama or born one or born two and that stuff.
Yes.
No, somebody will find you attractive. Relationships are about friendship. Marriage, that's the core of it. Today, Brigade has actually made us know that no matter how wealthy you are, relationships can go separate ways. No matter the children you raise, how incredible you raise them, you can go separate ways. It's the same thing.
So I really love the point where you made that even if you have a child or someone out there will find you attractive, because it's due to these reasons why women fear. So when they find out that they are pregnant, they're like, I want to terminate it. I'm born one. How are my parents going to accept it? Am I even going to find a man who's going to love me and marry me eventually because I have a child with me?
I just do the worst. The worst part is they give the child to another man.
It's true.
And they give the child to another man, pretending that's the father.
Yeah.
It happened quite often. I have witnessed a lot of them. Until one day, the child had to travel and the DNA test had to be performed, and then it is
not my
exposed.
child. Okay.
So don't just be honest about these things. If God gives you the child, God can give you what it takes to take care of a child. So that should not be a fear. It is our fear, what we think about ourselves. That's what controls us. If we can think positive, we get to our right destination.
All right. Counselor, there was a part where our sender indicated that at a point where the new guy was giving her money and all that, she felt she owed him something. So at that point, he was like, okay, she was not going to back down. So it was more of, accept the proposal and then move on, because of course he was helping. In cases like that, if a man or woman is giving you present, is helping you financially, that's a guarantee that you have to also accept their relationship.
Well, let's draw boundaries. No boundaries. If somebody is giving you money, what's the money for? Is it help?
Okay.
Is it business? What are the terms and conditions?
Terms and conditions, you should find out.
Let me know.
Okay.
And again, let the person know I'm in a relationship, or where I am, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. So if he's giving the money to you, you know what he's doing.
I don't owe you.
But in her case, it seems to be playing double game here. You are in the first relationship which is not working. You decide not to end the relationship. Yet, the attention that you are missing here, you seem to be enjoying the other end over there. So you end up having a child from the other end. So let's be straightforward. If it's not working with your partner, if we cannot sit down and work together, let's go separate way. Okay. If we agree we work, let's work things out. As whatever comes your way, ask questions. Let the person know what you want. Define your relationship from the start. Define the relationship from the start. don't start a relationship without any definition. It's just like going to the lorry station, you see a very nice car, you start in the car without asking the driver where you are going. Where the car is going, you think, oh, it's going my direction. Next time when the car turns around and asks, driver, where are you going?
Okay.
Then there is trouble. No,
Okay.
we need to know where we are going from the start.
All right. So to our sender, I hope you are satisfied with the advice. And then, as Counselor said, there are avenues where you could seek help. If you bring forth the child and you have, issues with the father of your baby, you could visit social welfare and all that to seek help. So with the messages and the entries that we had, it seems there were a lot of women, but then there's one from a man. So let me read this one out. It says, for Ghanaians who earn 1,000 cedis monthly salary, what would you recommend to keep the peace at home, as school fees, feeding fee and utility bills can be sources of tension?
Draw a budget,
okay,
and do that with your spouse. Okay, people earn lower income and they are afraid of even sitting down, counting the money, knowing what and what to do. So they put the money there and they'll be pulling one. No. Draw a budget. If you have to buy in bulk, know what to buy in bulk.
Okay.
Can we preserve it? Yeah, you know how to preserve it. So sit down with your spouse. This is how much we have at hand, and this is what it will take through the month. What do we have to buy? What are the needs? What are the wants? So with the budgets, we can have some allocation from each budget. If some of the things we need to forgo them, then we can talk about it and forgo them. But don't force yourself to have all the good things with your little money, as you may end up stealing, borrowing from other places,
okay,
putting stress on yourself in a relationship. We can always make do with what we have. If we know how to use what we have, we always get to where we are going.
All right. But, Counselor, there is some homes where, they say there are some rules for men, so you have to take care of the finances of the home. But this man who says he's earning 1,000 Ghana cedis, would you recommend that maybe his partner also supports in some way?
Marriages are actually revolved over the years. The olden marriages is not today's marriages.
Okay.
The olden marriages, the women are not given the opportunity to even go and explore outside and look for money and bring home. You are trained to be a homekeeper.
Yeah.
To have sex with your husband.
Make babies.
Make babies. Take care of the baby. Distribute food and money and other stuff. Make sure there's a peace at that home. The man is made to go outside, look for the money and come back.
Yeah.
So when the man even come back and it's tired, the sex is even bad, after all, there's no problem. And those days, respect and love is based on our role. So you play a role where I play my role where. So peace in that marriage, respect is in that marriage. But things have evolved these days. Okay. It's a point that even women are earning more money than the men. Women have gone very higher than even the men.
Okay.
And these days, we are the one looking for our partners. It's not even the family who is doing that for us. So more responsibility is on us. What we can do is pick a piece of paper, put it down, write all the roles and the duties and the responsibility in that home. Look at your skills, your interests, your time, and that of mine. Which one you can do to help our marriage, our home. Okay. Then we do for our home. It's not your home, it's not my home. So those who say that I am the man in the marriage, nobody say you marry a man, you marry a woman. So you know that you are married to a woman. Good.
Yeah.
So please just sit down with your wife.
Okay.
No ego here. And let your wife know how much you earn. The road there, what you can do to help, do it. There's no more saying that women have to cook and the men have to eat. Women have to serve the man and the woman have to take the place. There's no more in a modern marriage.
Right.
We define those rules and we work with it.
Okay.
I've counseled couples that the men even cook, the women don't cook. And that works for them. And that is fine.
All right.
So when your wife comes in and the wife wants to help with A, B, C, D, appreciate how much the wife brings on board. Right. Don't compare it to yours. Oh, mine is 1,000. You've not brought 1,000, so your help is not enough. You are not being fair to her. If you can appreciate, she can give more to the relationship.
All right. Thank you, Counselor Adofoli. Okay, so our next message reads, what reason would you say have contributed to the rise of polygamous relationship these days?
dishonesty. Dishonesty, that's what is happening. If you want more women, you cannot stay with one woman. For the beginning of the relationship, let the people know what you want. And there's even avenue for that. That's why we don't have only one marriage type in Ghana here. There are 3. So those who want to go plenty women, you want 100 women, 20 women, you can have that under customary marriage.
Okay.
If you want to have one man, one woman, we can do it under part 3, marriage under part 3 or ordinance. Then if you belong to other faiths, like Mohammedan faith, the Muslim, you have your own. They have up to 4.
Yeah.
Why do you lead somebody on, tell a person that it is only you I love, it's only you I want to be with, and when you get into the relationship, your needs are not satisfied. Instead of working out, you go out looking for somebody to support you. So it's just dishonesty. If it can come clear, things will be better. And I don't want to just stop blaming foreign media and other people for imposing their marriage on us. Because nobody will impose marriage on you.
Okay.
It's between you and your spouse. Where you want to fit in, you go for it.
All right. But then there are some people who find it, like, you know, I don't know how to even explain it. But then they see a woman and then maybe she's a 3rd wife and they're like, hey, of all the men in the world decided to be a 2nd wife, a 3rd wife. But I think it's the woman's decision. So in cases like that, why do people find a problem with a woman being a 2nd wife or a 3rd wife?
Because we, the people, we are too much concerned about what people say about ourselves than what we think about ourselves.
Okay.
If I'm fair, I'm tall, and somebody asks me I'm fair, I'm tall, why am I fair, I'm tall? Because God created me fair and tall. What's your trouble?
Okay.
If I'm comfortable being a 3rd wife, why should that be a trouble with me? If somebody meeting why I'm a 3rd wife, because I want to be a 3rd wife. So you should know what you want. Don't just go and sit beside somebody's husband and try and see whether you can overtake the first. And when you are not able to overtake first, you have to be a 3rd. That's your own choice. But if you are going in and there are other people there and you are comfortable being 4 or 3rd, please go for it. If you don't want to be in that, then look for the one you can have one with. Let us be honest.
Okay. But Counselor, have you had a situation where maybe a 2nd wife or a 3rd wife have come to you with issues they are facing? Because those who are into it claim that it's not easy. There's times where there's competition, it feels like you are sharing your man. So for a woman who agrees to such a marriage, what would your advice be?
We don't see it much more these days, as we're saying. People would like to have monogamous marriage, one man, one woman, and go and cheat or be unfaithful elsewhere. It do happen.
It happens. A side chick business, of course.
Side chick business, that happen. But it's so hard these days that women or men would like to have the custom marriage and marry one and marry 2.
Yeah.
You see, rivalry is something that can turn things around. Jacob, in even a good book, married 2 sisters from the same family, but he was living in her. How they were even fighting each other. So people are very insecure.
Okay.
Even what you give to them is not even enough. Sometimes people believe that I should be the first and you are the hot second. What I just want people to know is, if you are going to your marriage and the partner is transparent to you and the partner wants to be with you and the partner says you are going to be the 3rd wife, what are the duties of the 3rd wife? What are the responsibilities of a 3rd wife? What do you expect me on board? What are your expectations from me? And what about yours? Let's discuss these, our expectations, and manage them very well. If we have any silent rule, let's manage that very well. And also find a better way to resolve our own conflict that comes in the relationship, so that it does not escalate to other wives or other partners. Get it into it. Or somebody, you are going to discuss my issue with another wife, then we get involved. We have children involved. What you have to do for each children, I think you do whatever you do for A, you do for B. Whatever you do for B, you do for C.
But then no matter what, you might have a favorite in there, even with the wife.
There's not to be a favorite. That's a different responsibility. I'm paying all of your fees. That is fine.
Okay.
But in my heart, there's somebody who comes first to me. You cannot love 2 people. You cannot be loyal to 2 people. You'll be loyal to one, you won't be loyal to one.
Okay.
It is always true. And if the man is leaving that spouse for you or is adding you on top, maybe There's something that he doesn't like in that person. That's why he's coming.
Okay.
Or there's something else he wants to supplement the relationship. It's not that he wants to let go the first one. You should know about this.
Now I know. Counselor, now I know. Because people always come up with maybe it's for the money. That's why people accept to be third wives, second wives, stuff like that. Because there are some notable people who, they are rich. Of course, no woman, in the villages you have farmers, take up wives. But then when you come to the city and maybe you are not well-to-do, I'm not sure you can have all the access to take up women, especially when the woman too is hard to maintain. It's not going to be
In fact,
affordable.
the business of dealing with 2 women or 3 women is very expensive.
Counselor, tell them.
Very, very expensive. Even what do you call it? Side chicks. It's very expensive, not to talk about wife.
Okay.
It's very expensive. So those who do that, they are rich already. But if they are not rich, if they have to put those money into savings, that is a huge money.
That's a huge money.
On the way. So if you have your money and you want to throw it around, that is fine. But those who are coming in, if you are coming because of money, then you are trying to tell me that you can equally be bought. We are all being blessed. We all have our own gifts. We all have our own skill. We can all excel where we are. It's funny what God created as our purpose and work at it. By saying that somebody made it, so that person should be my heaven, my God, then you are going to be a slave to that person.
Okay.
Or once I'm feeding you, I had the opportunity to starve you.
It's true. It happens.
Once I'm making you happy, I had the opportunity to make you sad. And you should know it. Don't just take the positive and leave the negative. Think about the negative too. There should be balance before you go into such a relationship.
Counselor, you are preaching. You've said a lot. I really like your submission because there are a lot of people who think, the fact that there's money, I can go in for it. But, you have to also be prepared when reality sets in. Okay, so let me tackle this one. This is a message from a lady. It said, please find out why our society finds it difficult to accept interfaith marriages.
Society is not finding it difficult to accept interfaith marriages. I'm telling you that marriages is moving from the community, the society, to individual now. It is our marriage. So if you belong to a family, you belong to a group, and you want to go into marriage, and you find somebody outside your faith who you gel with, you wanted to be with, talk to your people, those who you live with, your family, your faith, and so on and so forth. This is what I want to be with. If they have advice to give you, they then will give you advice as an adult person. But they should not take decision for you. They should not control you. We are allowed people to control us, manipulate us, tell us what to do. So we hear plenty. At one point in time, somebody says it's good to go. At one point, another person saying it's not good to go. Then you find yourself in a confused state. You don't know where to go. Okay. It happened. And just to talk out of the president, what has happened in the past. They find it difficult to accept other people, even tribe, even religion. They find it difficult to accept because of ideologies and that kind of theories and doctrines from different places. They find it hard to accept, and we judge them. We see some people bad and some good in that order. If you see somebody bad, you can never like the person. If you reject somebody, there's nothing about the person that you enjoy. So the new relationships that are coming out, the marriages that are coming out, we always tell you, you should know what you want. If you want you and your spouse to plan your home the way you want it, start when you are dating, not when you are about to get married, not when you are about to go and see your parents, and then they are struggling with you. Before you get to your parents, you know why you are going there, and they ask questions, you have answer for it because you have planned for that. Society will do a lot of things which are wrong. We are still correcting them. Our society is not the best of models or standard for you to follow. Okay. So don't follow the society. But if it is in the best interest, follow God or follow your God. Let it lead you to the light.
All right. Thank you, Counselor. There are some messages that we will come back to. If time permits us, we will read them out. But then let's take a quick break. When we come back, the show continues. Welcome back. You're still watching Moans and Cuddles on Ghana Web TV, and I am your host, Paulina Deda Opoku. Counselor, it looks like the messages there are a lot too, but then we'll just tackle this too, and maybe another time we'll delve more into it. So let me read it. This is from a man. It says, can a partner or spouse be excused if just after marriage a spouse loses his or her limb, impeding movement? So he's saying that can a partner be excused? Maybe just after marriage you have an accident and maybe you cannot walk, something happens to you. It's too early in the marriage. Can I say I'm leaving?
All right. See, this business of until death do us apart is very long journey.
Okay.
It has all sorts of things. The sickness is one of them. Accident is one of them. But the only thing that separates us is death.
It's death.
There are also rules to it. Besides, we know able to reconcile our differences, violence and abuse and other things. Those are exceptions to it. But besides that, sickness, whether accidents, they are all part of it. Imagine you have a best friend and you are traveling with that friend. And a friend is involved in accident. Will you leave the friend to their fate and run away?
You'll be there for them at least.
You'll be there for them. That's what we call loyalty.
Okay.
That's what we call loyalty. So marriage comes with that loyalty. So we say something in good times, in bad time. So the person that will be with you in good time, that same person has to be with you in bad time. So if the person is running away just because of the sickness, we're sorry you didn't get a good friend for that long journey. And that's very unfortunate. People lose their life or die or commit suicide because of that feeling of being alone or loneliness. I'm all alone. When everything was okay, you were with me. And now things are not okay, you are leaving. And that feeling alone can kill other people. But it's not a right way to leave somebody you love, you vow to be with. The question the person should be asking, the one who is having a difficulties now or illness, is, what can we do to help you? Your condition, what are the experts saying? Are there going to be any future plans for you? If you were working before this thing happened and you cannot do those regular work, what else can you do? So as time goes on, you can be able to help yourself, even help your family. We should be thinking about that, but we should just not run away, be panic and just run away.
So you should also be asked. You should ask yourself the question that, what if it had happened to me? Would I be okay if my partner said?
Very well, good question. That's the same thing. Yeah.
But counselor, it's going to be challenging. You know? Imagine you marry fresh, you're enjoying your marriage, and then all of a sudden, your partner had an accident, they can't walk no more. Maybe just 2 months after marriage.
Sometimes people have this kind of perception that marriage is well enjoyed when you're in good time. But it is in a bad time that brings us closer. Having been to places that somebody has lost a relative, a loved one, and they are grieving, this is the time they need somebody closer, stronger. So in a relationship, it's not going to be all rosy or better. There are things that happen every blessed day that brings you to your need. And that is where you get closer the more. So when there's trouble, running away, that's not as strengthening that marriages. It doesn't make it strong. Yeah, people have that kind of behavior. They always run away when there's conflict or trouble.
So you don't have to run away. This is the time that your partner needs you. So if you have challenges like that, whether sickness or accident, it doesn't guarantee that you run away from that marriage or relationship. But wait, counselor, what about a relationship?
Oh, relationship.
Yeah, you know, there's exceptions to the rule.
Yes, the relationship, what we are doing, the goal of the relationship, I'm studying you for the marriage.
Okay.
So in that stage, we are not even really much more committed as we are saying. So if I see your behavior and other thing, I think that it's okay to go. That is fine. I've seen people who are about to get married, just some months to come, their partner or spouse had an accident, serious one. But when I had to get married to them, years on things turn around, the person was able to get their get help in one way or other to be able to support the relationship. And they are very grateful because at that moment, whatever they did for your partner, the partner was so grateful, so attached to them that he could not look back on them or turn back on them. He was always there for them. So sometimes the bad thing that happened teaches lessons. COVID came, COVID is not good. But when you go to every place in a hygienic
And now
washing hands and doing other things, it has actually come to improve a lot of things.
It's true.
We are talking about malaria. These days, we have less of that. We're talking about cholera.
Yeah.
These days, we don't talk much about it because of washing hands and other things. So, bad things or conflict or tragedies or accidents, there is some useful lesson out of these events that we can learn from. So let us not just run away. Let's face it and deal with it well.
Thank you. So let's focus on this last one. It's also from a lady. It says, so do you think partners should be transparent about their finances in relationships?
This has been a lady who is sending the shortest message so far.
Issue is whether you should be transparent in your relationship when it comes to finances.
It's not just finances, be transparent in everything. What makes marriage the safest relationship on earth is about the transparency.
Okay.
Can you be naked with somebody and not be ashamed or embarrassed? Can I be vulnerable with you and still trust you that I'm well protected? That's what marriage is about.
Okay.
So if I'm going to the relationship, you have to be transparent about everything.
Hey.
Finances is just one bit of it. As we are going in, people lie about little things, qualifications, which is you're supposed to be doing that, ages, you're supposed to be doing that, past relationship. You don't have to do that. People are in marriages now and they tell you, this is how much I earn, this is how much you earn. We cannot even see your payroll or pay slip, whatever happened, we don't want. People are in marriages, they protect their phone with their own life. He or she is bathing. When the phone rings, you can come out of the bathhouse, chasing the phone. It's madness. You don't have to get to that state.
They don't want to be exposed, all the things that they are hiding on their phone.
So it tells you that you yourself, you are not trustworthy in that relationship. So if you are not trustworthy, do you want somebody to trust you? That's what you are telling telling yourself. If we cannot handle relationships, which is lower and smaller in terms of marriage, or let's say the responsibilities are less there. If we cannot go there with transparency and honesty, when we get to marriage, there is going to be trouble. So finances, when we are dating, let's talk about it. How much I earn. I just don't want you to use somebody's ending for your budget.
Okay.
That I'm getting married to you because you earn this amount of money. Our youth need to know that marriage, what keeps marriages, is not just what is outside, but what is inside. That keeps marriages. You see me dress, now you dress like this. Somebody can see you and say, oh, Paula is so beautiful, very attracted. I like your perfume, I like the way you look, and so forth. Paula, this is not you. If they want to know you, they should go home. When you wake up early in the morning, that is you.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
So will you like her
in that state?
In that state.
Okay.
The things that she does in her secrecy, nobody sees it. Will you be comfortable? When he's sleeping, snoring, throwing legs, yeah, will you like Paula? When you go inside the room, the way she handles her underwears and things like that, will you like? These are the things, the behaviors, the characters, all come out. So I'm asking people to move beyond the outside and go beyond that and know people for themselves. Love somebody for who he is. Know somebody for who he is. Marry the person for who he is, but not what the person have outside the relationship. Money, car, statue, films, these things, anything can change at any point in time. We can be able to manage, we can work together as a couple and in a company like here, but we cannot live together at home as a couple. People do that.
It's true.
So if we learn to know people for who they are, wherever we find ourselves with them, relationship will thrive. We will get better with them.
Counselor, this story reminds me of a trending social media post. There was this man who says he's been in a relationship with the wife for years, like, years of marriage. And the lady has been making him believe that he was earning just like 1,000 cedis, only for him to realize that she was earning even more than he was. And then all this while she has been keeping her money, and then he makes him, the husband, buy all the stuff and all that. And then when he realized that, to the extent that the lady was even building a house, even without him knowing, his trust was broken. He confronted the lady eventually and was like, why would you do that? what are some of the reasons why you think that people keep their financial, what they earn, private, like secrets from their partners? Why do they do that? Selfishness.
Very selfish. I don't want to share myself with you. I want what you have, but I don't want to give you what I have.
Okay.
Selfishness. That is the basic of it. I don't want to go to a place that somebody is saying you are greedy and so forth. Because if you can't share whatever you have with your partner, you don't marry that person.
Okay.
The thing about sharing, when we share, it becomes more. When we share, it's not one anymore. As we are sitting here, we've been sharing idea. At the end of the day, I learn from you, you learn from me. You brought one, but you get two home. I also brought one, I get two home. That's about sharing. When we come to the table to eat, if it is me alone eating, and the food is not enough, and how I'll feel after eating is different from when I'm eating with somebody, knowing that it's not enough. I'm not all alone. I'm with somebody who is sharing the little with us. Actually, we have a strength to hold on, a support to hold on. So when we keep things to ourselves, we don't want to share, we don't want to open, we don't want to release, we actually damage the relationship. So in that scenario or that relationship, the trust has been broken beyond repair.
Okay.
And the best thing that you do is to go for therapy. If that will not work out, then probably the marriage is about to get a divorce.
Okay. As I say, I'm very happy with the advice you gave. I know all those that sent in the messages, they were glued to their phones and on YouTube, and I've seen or heard what you've said, and I know that is going to help them. But then before we started this conversation, I was talking to you about how Ghanaians accept the whole counseling sections. But is it expensive? Is it expensive to walk to a counselor Adofoli and say, oh, counselor, I have this issue, I need advice? How much do you charge?
First of all, I tell them I don't give advice. Okay. When we come to a show like this, we are giving education, so that's what we are doing.
Yeah.
Counseling, we don't give advice. Counseling is a process of its own. I'm helping you discover what actually is going wrong with you. So I take you through that process. It's just like going to the hospital. Before a physician prescribes a medication for you, you need to go to tests, scan, and so forth to know what is wrong with you. Before even medication comes. The same thing that happens in the counseling room. So when you are coming, you are sure that at the end of the process, you are not the same again. You have an answer to some solution. You feel good, you feel better. Things will be clear, the confusion will be taken care of. And again, these processes are formal. Confidentiality is assured. So nobody go and broadcast your issue elsewhere. It's just that you talk to your friend, and next time another friend or family member is talking about it and that stuff. And again, you don't wait for your relationships to get to the place that things are not working before you start looking for counseling. It's just like if you getting married is less like buying a car. If you get a car, get a mechanic. If you get a marriage or relationship, get somebody who can help you when issues come, so that it is not overwhelming. But when we hurt each other so much, there's a time that we don't want to hurt each other anymore. We escape the relationship. If it's not breakup, that is where divorce comes in. So our services, we put human being above the price. But you have to be honest. My company is a registered company. And whatever I'm doing there is very legal. We take you through all the process. So with the therapy, I think you can afford.
You can afford?
Yes, you can afford.
You're not going to give us any estimates?
No, you can afford.
Okay.
That they can afford.
Counselor, I want you to put out, if someone wants to reach out to you, or is it on YouTube, on social media, how do we get to you?
All right. My office is on Spinters Road. The company is the Marriage Consult. I'm closer to Coastal Junction on the Spinters Road. My contact is 020-677-4279. I take it again, 020-677-4279. You can also write to me, info@the-marriage-consult, info@the-marriage-consult. On the social media, Facebook is Frank Adofoli, and on Instagram is Counselor Adofoli. The same for Twitter. All right.
Thank you very much for coming on the show today. But I must say, with me, I think I have to, because me, I've never had a counseling section, because I don't, I don't even have a reason why I have it.
I'll give you a free a session. So come at any time. I'll take care of the course.
Counselor, thank you very much.
So you can go through the session, you know how it feels to be.
I'll be there even before you know it. I'll come. So you at home, I know you have enjoyed today's episode. We said it was an open day, and thanks to all those who sent us messages. And I know, like, you know, of course, Counselor has said it all. And we hope that what he said, you take it from there. So it's going to help you analyze the situation. And all those who brought issues, if you think it's something you cannot handle, you decide whether to leave the relationship or keep on trying. It's always a pleasure coming your way. My name is Paulina Deda Opoku. Thanks for watching Moans and Cuddles.